Hello, everyone, and welcome to Thursday Talks with Chug. Each week, we cover pressing topics that matter to you and your business. My name is Arianna Gonzalez from Chug, attorneys and CPAs tuning in from our San Diego office. Please join me in welcoming senior partner and attorney Navdeep Meamber from our Santa Clara office. Hi there, Navdeep, and welcome.
Thank you, Arianna. Excited to be here.
Thank you so much for taking the time. Today, we're going to be talking all about the H-1B cap. Just a quick disclaimer before we get started. I'd like to remind you that this conversation is for informational purposes only. It does not create an attorney-client relationship. So if you do have questions, please comment them below or email us anytime at info@chuk.com. We'd love to help you out. So let's get right into it. Navdeep, can you tell us a little bit of background information about the H-1B cap and what it is?
So, it's very right on point topic because extremely busy with the H-1B cap right now. And this opens once a year. So basically, H-1B, cap allows US employers to hire foreign professionals in a specialty occupation. So when we say specialty occupation, means someone who that profession needs a bachelor's degree minimum. So someone who has never held H-1B status, they would be covered under this H-1B cap. So it's not like you can file any time of the year. If someone wants to be on H-1B and they find an employer who wants to sponsor their H-1B, so they have to apply during the certain time. The window opens up every year in March. So that's when you find an employer, a US employer, who wants to sponsor you on H-1B status. So that's the time when the registration is done by the employer or their representatives, lawyers. So there's a cap on H-1B, basically that there's a 65,000 under the regular cap. These are the numbers which are available. So only so much can be selected every year. And then there's additional 20,000 applicants for the US master's degree or higher degree. So these are the ones, 65,000 and 20,000. They select when the lottery happens under the cap.
Wow, really good to know. Are there important updates for fiscal year 2026 that we should know?
Yes. So every year some changes happen, and with the new administration, things get changed. But the biggest change which is happening for this financial year 2026, we call it financial year 2026 because the financial year starts and it's called 2026. It's the 215 fee, USCIS fee. Last year, when we filed the cap, it was only $10. Now, this year, each registration which has to be done for one person, the USCIS fee has to be paid is 215 by the employer. So that is the biggest change happening this year. Then also in January, they released a new form for H-1B. So that's one that's going to be used. And basically, under the new administration, we know there's stricter compliance happening and more fraud prevention measures are being taken. We already can see that happening. So that is the biggest changes, yes.
Wow, quite a large increase in the registration fee. So definitely look out for that if you're going through this process and take that into consideration. Navdeep, can you explain the process for obtaining the H-1B cap for applicants?
So if someone who wants to be on H-1B in the US, they first need to find an employer who will be sponsoring their H-1B. So that's the first talk you need to have with them, that will you sponsor my H-1B? Because the employers have a certain criteria and they have to also follow certain regulations, what they can do under H-1B you cannot do. So first the employer has to agree that, yeah, we will sponsor your H-1B. Then the employers must register for the lottery to get a chance, file the H-1B petition. The process is a little different in the sense, a couple of years ago, we could just file it right away, the whole petition, and then they would do a lottery and whatever does not get selected got kicked back. But right now, they're not saying like file everything right now, documents. We don't file any documents. So basically, the lottery just needs us, the employer, to register the name, put the name of the candidate they want to put for the cap, and then it is done online, proper, it's all online random lottery process. Nothing is mailed, paper filing, no, nothing doing that way. So the other thing is that this financial year 2026 H-1B cap will use the beneficiary-centric selection process, which was introduced last year. So what this means is that the registrations are selected by unique beneficiary rather than by registration. So a person could do two registrations, three registrations, one person. This doesn't mean that, they're going to choose that person and by that person only, not like you have different employers. So it's really focused on the beneficiary right now. Because that's why they ask the passport number, date of birth. They want to make sure this is same person. And if USCIS receives the registrations for enough for unique beneficiaries by March 24th, a random selection lottery will take place. And if selected, they can start filing their petitions.
So what about the electronic registration process? I hear that's getting more popular. Can you explain how that works?
So for the electronic registration process, which is used to put the names in the lottery, the employers must create a USCIS account, okay? And this account is basically an employer account only. Employees do not have access to that. Then after that, when they submitted information, basically the name, the education details, and date of birth, and then after that, pay the registration fee, which is around 215. And then selection occurs after the registration period closes. And then, so there's really no like benefit that you should start registering right when it opens, the first day. I know some clients, they want the name to go first day. It does not really matter if you're registering towards the beginning or the middle or the end. As long as you register, put the name before it closes, everyone is going to go through the same random process. No preference is going to be given to anyone.
Understood. So no chances are increased if you register on the first day as long as you register before the deadline. Perfect.
Actually, we tell, let's wait a little bit. Sometimes there are technical glitches which happen in the online system we have seen in the past. And sometimes there was a time when the names would disappear. We could not see something or some technical issue would happen. So it's actually better that you don't file right the first day and wait and see how the process goes. And then take it a little easier after that. Yes.
That's a great point. It gives them time to figure out all the nooks and crannies and anything that they might need to fix. So what are the key dates and timeline for fiscal year 2026 that we need to know?
So the most important, the registration opened on March 7th, which is already open now, and it closes on March 24th, noon Eastern time, which is a Monday. So when we say noon Eastern time, so I know I'm in the Pacific time, it's 9 a.m. for me. So technically, it doesn't really matter, unless you're going to start working at 5 a.m. Pacific time. So it is more of a benefit for Eastern time zone. And, it's a weekend before Monday. So for my clients, I don't wait till that weekend or even Monday, unless it's like a really urgent situation. We could not do it earlier. And, sometimes even technical issues can happen last day and you may not be able to file it. What if that happens? It had happened one time. So we always prefer that let's close it by Thursday or Friday before the March 24th. So that everything goes, we know we got you in and we can go check in the system. The process is smooth. So let's not really wait for March 24th. But if someone really wants to get in that last minute, that's March 24th, noon Eastern time. That's when the registration will close. So the results start coming after that. The window which normally they say is they'll announce by March 31st, but we start noticing the results right after we file it, and within a few days, the results start coming when the lottery is done. They do let us know the lottery is done and selection is done, and then we start getting these alerts in our online system, so we can see in there. And then after that, so we know the results will come by March 31st, and the petition filing window starts from April 1st. There are 3 months. April 1st starts and ends by June 30th. So you have to file within April 1st and June 30th. Please don't wait last minute to file it. I know sometimes there's a lot of rush happening in the end of June. Let's file it. Don't wait. Try to file it earlier. And then even if it get approved, you can only start working from October 1st, 2025. So basically you file it by June, and some people do premium, some do regular. And if approval comes before October 1st, you could only start working or apply for visa around October 1st is when the start date is on the H-1B.
Wow, really good to know those dates. So if you are watching this and need assistance, please reach out to us. We'd love to help you out. We filed tens of thousands of immigration petitions, so would be happy to assist. Feel free to email us anytime at info@chuk.com so we can help you out. So how does the random selection process work? Do we have any information on that?
Yes, I mean, they don't give us much details how they do it internally, but we do know that this is not first come, first served lottery. So our registration within that whole window, let's say from March 7th to March 24th, they will be equally considered. That's when after that they run their lottery. And there's really no preference for the, like, we know there's a regular and master, which we'll address later. But otherwise, there's really no preference, everyone is not given some special treatment for that. So possible selection statuses which show in the system in this random process after the lottery runs is that submitted means registration is valid but not selected yet. So that's what it will show after we file it online. And then once it is selected, it will either show eligible for file an H-1B petition, shows as selected. And then the other one will show non-selected, means this not chosen in the lottery. So yeah, that's how it shows in the system.
Great, really good to know. So how can an H-1B petitioning employer create a USCIS online account?
So yeah, so that's the first step. If some employer who wants to sponsor an H-1B candidate or employee, they have to first create an account. They must create, someone does not have account, they have to create an organizational account. So the different kind of accounts, individual accounts, organizational accounts. So for H-1B cap, they have to choose that option in the system. You have to go to my USCIS website and create an organizational account. So if an employer had an H-1B registration account for, let's say, 21, 24 in the past, they have done the H-1B cap, but did not use it last year in financial year 2025. So the account actually converted automatically to organizational account after you log in. You have to go do little bit check-ins. So it will automatically convert to organizational account. You don't have to go create a new one. So if you had filed some H-1B cap cases 2024, uh, financial year, but not in last year financial year, you don't need to go create a new account. Just use the old account you have. It will just take you through the process of converting your account to the organizational account. And someone who does not have account, so of course they can create the account anytime. Arianna, you are muted.
Oh, my apologies. Thank you for that. So what about the eligibility requirements?
Yes, so that's the first thing you should be seen, right? If someone wants to, someone approaches, employee says, okay, or candidate says, let's see, please, I'm interested in H-1B cap. So the employer has to first evaluate even before thinking that do they want to do H-1B cap registration for them. It should not be done if person is not qualified, right? So there are certain requirements. The beneficiary, the employee should have a bachelor's degree or higher in a specialty related occupation, right? So if it's less of software engineer, it should be something in the software IT related. Someone who has a mechanical engineering commerce degree would not be considered a related occupation kind of degree, right? Then if the degree is from a foreign institute, then it has to be make sure that once it's evaluated, it will be a US equivalency. Sometimes a degree is a 3 years degree. When they did the degree, it's only 3 years. Then if the person has another experience or something, it's going to be hard to get a US equivalency because as per the US equivalency rules, you have to have a 4-year degree. So if there are options, if you have a 3-year degree, if you or even if you lack a degree, let's say you do not have a degree, you may still qualify for H-1B through work experience. So every 3 years of your work experience would be considered as a 1 year of education. So then we have to work with some expert professors or experts who give you an evaluation based on education and experience combination. But the most important thing is make sure that you do have experience. If you just had a 3-year degree and no experience, then when you do get selected in the lottery and we have to file your petition, that will be an issue because we will not be able to show that you have a US equivalent bachelor's degree. Evaluators will not be able to give you equivalency based on that. So then you should not be proceeding unless you have some experience. Get some experience, then you can be considered next year, right? Then the other thing is that the occupation which is being offered is a specialty occupation. It must need a bachelor's degree. So any occupation which does not require a bachelor's degree, you just need associate degree or just need experience, may be hard, that you would not be qualified. In the past, we used to get a lot of requests for evidence on these issues, showing that the person has is qualified based on their degree, or the position which they are filing for is a specialty occupation, needs a bachelor degree. So these are the things which come in the picture after the lottery happens, the petition is filed, but these are the things which need to be looked on by the attorney or the employer who's filing the H-1B. These are very critical.
Got it. So we often get questions about the master's cap. Can you explain the key differences between the H-1B regular cap and the master's cap?
Yeah. So H-1B regular cap is open to all applicants who has at least a bachelor's degree or equivalent, okay? But the master's cap is basically only for the applicants with the US master's degree or higher from an accredited institution, right? Foreign master's degree does not qualify you. If you had a foreign master's degree from outside the US, that does not qualify you for the H-1B master's cap. Then you have to file under the regular cap. Also, that to qualify for the master's cap, the US school must be like public or non-profit and accredited. These are the things your attorney or employer will work with you. So it's not like all US masters also qualify for this. So there are certain criteria which have to be met. Those should be looked in properly. And basically, the other difference is we know that the regular cap is 65,000 visa number available, whereas for the master cap, there is 20,000 additional visa reserved for the US master's degree holders only.
So how does the H-1B master cap lottery work? Do we know anything about that?
Yes. So H-1B master cap lottery is a two-round process. That gives advanced degree holders some eligible US institutions advantage. So how it works is basically that first USCIS conducts a regular cap, lottery of 65,000, and this pool includes both the bachelor degree and the master degree. So they'll do this first round, which will be a pool of bachelor and masters. They select 65,000 from that. And then they'll do a second round of lottery after the regular cap selection. They'll identify that who are the US Masters cap eligible registrants from the unselected, that one who did not get selected in the 65,000 first round, right? And then they're going to do a lottery from that, who are US Masters. And if there are more than 20,000 Masters cap eligible applications, then they do a lottery. And if it's less than 20,000 or up to 20,000, they will not do a lottery. But as per my experience, there's always a lottery. There's always more than 20,000. So there's always a second lottery for the master happens. But the eligibility, because of the masters, helps them to have the chance two times. They got first chance, they tries at the normal cap. They still get selected in that if they don't get selected. And then they apply for the second round master lottery.
Okay, good to know. Are there any ways to maximize your chances in the lottery?
So basically, yes, if you have a US master's, please let your lawyers know, your employer know. Then they can put you in that when you register, then we have to mention that this person has a US master's. And then they will get two lottery chances, regular cap plus master's cap. So that does increase your chance automatically. And then secondly, I would just say that to make sure that registration is done proper and timely done. Employees should double check all registration details for accuracy. Typos can happen. Humans can make errors. So if anything goes wrong, then it will be denied or rejected, right? Then it's not going to go be in the lottery. And then just file early, in the window to avoid any technical issues. Don't wait for the last day. You don't have to do the first day, but do in the middle if you have to do, but don't wait for the last day unless you really have some specific reasons. Yes.
Absolutely. That's great to know that the master's cap applicants get two tries. So what are the common pitfalls and how can those be avoided? I know we see a lot of them in day-to-day applications. So what are they and how can we avoid those?
Yes, that is important. So one of the common we see is a duplicate or fraudulent filings. Okay, that could be a problem. So do not submit multiple registrations for the same beneficiary from the same employer. Each employer must have a genuine independent job offer. So please avoid any duplicate registrations. Even by mistake, you don't want to do that. Because if USCIS notices this person's name has been put twice from the same employer, they're going to reject it, even if it was an error. So do not do that. And do not, if you don't have any genuine independent job offer, please do not file it through any other employer, okay? The other issue which we could see is that errors in registration, right? Always double check the legal name, the passport numbers, and employer details before submission. If there's anything wrong in that, that could be a problem later, because these all details have to later match when the petition is to be filed. They look at the documents at that time, right? Your name has to match with the passport, your number has to match with the passport, and the employer details have to all match. And if something goes wrong in the initial lottery, your name put wrong or employer name put wrong, then they're going to say you are not the same person or this is not the same employer. So they're not going to consider you. The second, I would say, the other is that late petition filing. So, if you do get selected, employers must file the petition within 90 days. So prepare your documents early and submit promptly. Do not wait for the 90th day or even 80th day. File your petition same way how you want to do the registration timely before the window, and same way when the petition filing window comes, do not wait. Do not just sit on it.
Really great advice there. So, what are cap exempt employers?
Yeah, so if you are not selected in the H-1B cap lottery, so you may then consider if you would qualify for cap exempt employers. So the cap exempt employers, as per the USCIS regulations, are basically the non-profit research organizations, who do research, but they are non-profit. Then they're universities and affiliated institutions. They don't need H-1B. They are cap exempt. Then there will be government research institutions. They're also cap exempt. So if these entities can file H-1B petition any time of the year, and they do not have to go through a lottery at all. So you can, if you do qualify, of course, you have to see, these organizations have certain criteria if you qualify, if they're interested. So look for these. This would be your option if your name is not selected in the lottery.
Wow, very good to know that there are other options. So, if one is not selected in H-1B, what are some other visa options to consider?
Yes, there are a lot of other visa options where a person can come and work as a non-immigrant, right? So one the common which we use besides H-1B is L1. L1 is two types, L1A and L1Bs. L1A is a manager or executive, and L1B is a specialized knowledge. So for L1, it's not like anyone would qualify for L1. For L1, you need to have worked for a foreign entity, related entity. So let's say you work for an employer in a foreign country, and then they have a related entity. They have a branch, they have a subsidiary affiliate here in the US, that the company you worked in the foreign entity, and you work minimum 1 year. And then they could file L1 for you. And if you are a manager or executive, you would qualify under L1A. And if you were specialized knowledge, means it's a very specialized knowledge which is not readily available in the US. That's the L1B, which is a little harder to get as compared to H1B. Then you could qualify for L1B. So, but the main criteria is that the employer has to have foreign branch where you worked for them, branch, affiliate, subsidiary. So parent subsidiary relationship has to be there. And then you have worked for them at least minimum 1 year in that foreign entity, and you will be coming here to do as a specialized knowledge or as a manager or executive. So then L1 could be a good option for you. You cannot just transfer L1 to anyone though. So you can only work for that employer. That is L1, and then the other one is TN. The Canadian citizens, they can file, or Mexican citizens, they can come here on T1. This is also a non-immigrant work visa. Basically, it's very easy. You have to show that the job you're going to do is covered under one of the appendix. There are certain jobs which qualify for T1. NAFTA regulations. And if you are able to do that, your employer can bring you here on T1. So that's another. And you can always, let's say if you do not get selected in the cap right away, you could come on T1. You could come on L1, right? And then later you can have another chance in the lottery. Of course, we have some clients, we file them lottery at least minimum 1 2 years till they get selected. It's all luck. Sometimes do not get selected at all. So, but you do have that chance to do that. Then besides T1, TN, you could also do O1. This is an extraordinary non-immigrant visa, but it is becoming a little common here. We have done a couple of O1s. You have to meet eligibility criteria, at least 3 of 10 points to show that you have extraordinary ability. And then it could be for any employer. You do not have to work for that. It's not like how L1 you have to work for an entity. So as long as you think you would qualify as under extraordinary, not everyone could be extraordinary ability, right? You have to have something more than normal everyone would have. So then you could qualify for O1, talk to you some attorneys and have them do your eligibility criteria check and see if you would qualify for that. So these are the more common ones for work visa we do. The other thing is like, I would say that if you do not get or you do not have these any visas, also see if your spouse had an H4, H-1B status, I-140 was done, then you are on H4. You could get I-140 approved based on the spouse, you could get EAD. So you could still work here. So there are other options, talk to lawyers and see how they could help you.
Absolutely. Great options there. And yes, if you have questions, please feel free to reach out to us anytime at info@trug.com. We can help you see if you qualify for any of these other visas. So is there a chance that USCIS might conduct a second lottery for the fiscal year 2026 cap? Should we expect that?
I know that's the golden question every year. Everyone wants to know that after the lottery happens, like, oh, do we still have another chance? I would say possible, very much. It has happened last year. It did not happen for the master, it happened for the regular cap. So it happened. It happened before that, year before. So I would say there is a very much chance that it could happen this year, but you will not know it till midsummer. Because once all the petitions get filed, they are not everyone who gets selected in the lottery files, unfortunately. It's such a waste of number. So please do not register if you're not going to follow through, if you do not want H-1B petition to be filed. So do not put your name in the lottery because you're taking someone else's spot. It's not fair. There's only so many numbers, right? So please do not do that if you do not intend to file the H-1B petition in the end. Or even do not this multiple employer filing options. It's just not fair to people. And people who do not file the petition is a genuine reason. There could be they don't file the H-1B petition. Okay. So when USCIS determines that there are still number available, petitions do not get filed enough, then they will open another lottery. And I would say there's a high probability it may happen this year as well.
That's great insights. Thank you so much for your time, Navdeep. That is all we have time for today. So this brings us to the end of our conversation. Thank you everyone for joining us and tuning in. A special thank you to you, Navdeep, for your time and your wonderful insights. To stay up to date, please subscribe and follow us on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Give this video a like and turn on the notification bell so you can be notified of our next upload. And if you have any questions or suggestions, please feel free to send us an email anytime at info@trug.com. We love helping you guys out. And make sure to join us back here next week for more pressing topics that truly matter to you and your business. Until next time, stay safe and take care, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, Navdeep.
Thank you. Pleasure.
Thank you. Have a great day, everyone. Take care.